Connecting people and sharing experiences. This is the Retirement Years Podcast. Your hosts are Mary Ellen French and Dave Wing.
Hi there, I'm Mary Ellen.
And I'm Dave. And Mary Ellen, with almost the entire year laying out in front of us, we thought, didn't we, that it would be a good idea to take a look at ways we can make the most of 2024 and hopefully beyond.
Yes.
And on this week's episode, we are going to talk about ways that may help you say,
oh, awesome.
Well, who wouldn't want to feel good?
Absolutely.
I'd like to be feeling good all the time. We're going to look at some health and wellness trends that might just have you feeling good in 2024, as predicted by various social media platforms. But first, I would be remiss if I didn't ask how things are going in the beautiful, warm, sunny Dominican Republic.
Yeah, well, I have to tell you, this is an absolutely fabulous place for health and wellness. Right? I mean, it's a natural source of vitamin D, all the sunshine, even though the hours of the day aren't any longer really than what we have in Canada, but it's just pretty much sunshine all the time. Even on rainy days, which was yesterday and today, the sun shines beautifully in between little cloud bursts. So I'm loving being able to walk the beach in the mornings, swim every day. Like, it's great natural exercise. It's not like going to a gym, or it doesn't make it a chore, to be fit. So, yeah, I'm loving it. I'm meeting all kinds of new people, building community. We had a potluck supper here at the villas on the weekend, and oh my gosh, what a good time. Great food, good people. Yeah, having a ton of fun.
Well, and I'm glad you are having a great time there. And same thing here in good old Ontario. We're kind of cloudy. Today's warmer. We're right just below the freezing mark, and looking at about maybe 8 to 10 centimeters of snow. So, well, it'll give me some exercise tomorrow, and it will feel like exercise.
Mm-hmm. Sorry for your luck.
So we thought before we jump into what may happen in the future, it'd be fun to take a look back, turn the clock back to the 70s and the 80s, and reminisce a little bit about big trends as far as keeping you healthy back in those decades.
Yes. So we found an article at itsblossom.com called The 15 Most Popular Self-Care and Wellness Trends from the 70s and 80s. So yeah, this is going to be a throwback for sure. One of the ones that they talk about in this article, and we're not going to talk about all 15, but I picked one: step aerobics. Like, I remember as a young teacher in my mid-20s, we were, my girlfriends and I, we were all teachers, and we would go to the local community center in Marathon. The instructor was Bonnie. Shout out to her for making the class fun and a great workout, right? You had these ever increasing heights of steps, and the music would speed up, and and let's not forget the leg warmers that were part of the fashion trend at the time.
I do remember that. I didn't wear them.
Okay.
But as I confessed to you in our planning stages, that I did have a pair of platform shoes that I wore to my grade 8 graduation.
Mm-hmm.
And, I still in some ways regret that. Another big trend in the 70s was the Nautilus workout machines.
Oh,
and, yeah. This equipment, it used resistance to help you train. And Arthur Jones is the builder of that machine, and he did a prototype and called it the pullover machine in 1948. Wow. And it didn't make it into gyms and then later into homes until 1970. So it was a long time convincing people, and probably a startup company. I guess he couldn't just go on the internet and look for people to invest in his startup company. And they were designed to give you a variety of exercises to isolate various muscle groups with varying resistance. So anyone could benefit from using it, no matter how strong or how short or how tall. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And as I said, eventually those machines became popular to buy to put in your home so you'd have a home gym. And today, Nautilus equipment exists. One that many of us have heard of, Bowflex, uses that same sort of concept of using resistance to train. And this is a day of confessions for me. I have a home gym in the basement currently as we sit here. And it is a bit dusty. It's a little dusty.
A little dusty.
It is. Could use some oil on the wheels and stuff too.
Yeah. That's from overuse, I'm sure.
I hope so.
One of the other ones that they mentioned was the Atkins diet. And I think no matter what age you are now, well, maybe not my kids in their 20s, but definitely those of us, in 50s, 60s, 70s, would remember the Atkins diet. So Dr. Atkins released his first book in 1972. And essentially carbs were out and protein was in. So that's still popular today. It's pretty similar to the keto diet. I do want to caution though. I mean, there really is no such thing as a bad macronutrient, right? There's carbs, fats, and proteins. Our bodies need all three. And it's okay. It's actually healthy to cycle our body's diet. And by diet, I mean our nutritional intake. I don't mean some, fad that you follow for a while. Our bodies need all three. And it's okay to cycle through them. But overall, long-term balance really is the key to sustained health and wellness.
Yeah. And I couldn't agree more, because moderation is rarely the wrong advice.
Right. Exactly.
Now, another important figure from the 80s, I think every fan of working out at home has heard and will remember this voice leading them.
Hey, I want to dance with somebody. Hi! Hi! Hi, everybody! Hi! Hey, come dance with me! Come dance with me! Come on! And you, come dance too! Exhale. That's it.
And as I said, everyone our age or even older, I suppose, Richard Simmons, the American fitness personality and public figure, he was known to be a little eccentric, a tad flamboyant,
a tad,
and just a little energetic. He was just he was always such a positive guy, and seemed very, very genuine, and I'm sure he was. And he was known to millions through his Sweatin' to the Oldies aerobic videos.
Yes.
And in the 80s, it was perfect timing for him, because the 80s was the advent of the VHS, and Simmons recorded exercise videos that you could play at home, and Sweatin' to the Oldies was released on VHS in 1988, and the global craze was created. And as I was looking up information about this, I found lots of testimonials, current written testimonials, that stated that his workouts still hold up today, that they work, they enjoy them, and you can still buy the complete series of the Sweatin' to the Oldies at a large retail online place. Richard Simmons, he stepped out of the public limelight though, 2014. This guy who was always so present, like he was everywhere, stepped away, and he celebrated his 75th birthday last year.
Wow.
And his rep said that, quite simple, because there's all kinds of rumors, because that's what the internet was made to do.
Yeah.
That Richard was happy, healthy, and living the life he's chosen to live. So long live Richard Simmons, a very important figure in aerobic workout from the 80s that I know a lot of people remember and love.
I love that. Happy, healthy, and living the life he's chosen to live. I mean, isn't that what we all want?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I love that. I love that for him, and I love that for the rest of us. All right, so now let's go back to the Toronto Star article that we found that sort of prompted this whole thing. So the Toronto Star, special to the Toronto Star, is an article called Water Recipes, Big Talk, and a Radical Approach to Aging, Decoding the Top Health and Wellness Trends of 2024. So this is an article written by Christine Sismondo, and she took a look at what's going to be big in health and wellness in 2024, according to what people are actually searching for on TikTok and on Pinterest and Google and lots of other places. So this isn't sort of a prediction or anything based on advertisers or big companies. This is actually based on what people are truly searching for.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
So we're going to start with the first one, which is water. So I mentioned earlier, macros are a key component to our physical health. Well, water is essential to our survival, right?
Right. Yep.
So trends for 2024 include water recipes, and listeners can't see me, but I'm using air quotes around that. Because essentially what that is putting any kind of a 0-calorie additive into water, whether it's mineral water or bubbly water, essentially so that we increase our overall water intake. So water recipes, add lemon. That's my contribution. Well, honestly though, plain water can get boring. So I do get that.
Yeah.
Another trend is water bars. So you've heard of oxygen bars, possibly. There's water bars with water sommeliers. And those are water experts who are trained to taste, evaluate, and educate people on the qualities that affect taste. So things like, how much minerals, what kind of minerals are in the water, whether or not it's carbonated, how hard the water is. I don't know about you, Dave, but you probably had a similar experience to me, right? The different places I've lived in Ontario, the water has tasted differently everywhere I've lived.
Oh, absolutely. And I think I mentioned to you the water at our home where I grew up. There was enough iron in it, you could stand on it. Like it was just so, you left a glass for 2 or 3 days, it would be orangey brown, like tons. And that's what I thought water tasted like.
Yeah. So, I remember seeing a video, a documentary. It was a short documentary. I looked it up and it came out in 2016. I think I saw it after that. But anyway, it's called The Water Sommelier. And it stars Martin Rees. Now, Martin Rees is a world-renowned water sommelier. He's originally from Germany, now lives in the US, and he advises restaurants and their servers on the best pairings of particular types of water with different types of foods. So just like a wine sommelier or a wine steward would, that's what a water sommelier does. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So both the Star article and Martin Rees, they point out something really important, and that is that potable water is not a given globally, nor is it easily accessed in many countries. And shamefully, that is also true across North America, including Canada.
Yes.
Yeah, there's an estimated 2.2 million people without access to clean drinking water in North America, which is staggering and shameful. So if you're fortunate enough to live in a space where you can drink water from a tap, I urge you to be grateful. Don't take it for granted. I am living that right now. You can't drink from a tap here in the DR.
Yeah. It isn't something to take for granted or waste, that's for sure.
That's right.
Another trend that was mentioned in that article was big talk. And this was based on some information from Pinterest Predicts. And they say that its users will be searching for deep conversation starters in 2024. And the explanation is, unlike small talk, big talk will result with the right kind of intentional prompts that will spark more meaningful connections and conversations. And you might recall Marielle and Mike, who was our guest in season 2 on our 3rd episode. He stressed the need for mindfulness and connections. And one of the best ways to reach those goals is to have meaningful conversations with others. And we're all guilty of small talk, but it takes a little more time and courage, maybe, and commitment to have some big talk.
So I am going to put a plug in here for if anybody's interested in deep communication and you happen to live anywhere in the Ottawa area, Authentic Relating Ottawa is an organization that you want to check out. It's been operating there for over 10 years, and they do fun games nights that is all about learning to authentically communicate with other people. And sometimes they're in person, sometimes they're online. Ton of fun. If you want to know more about it, check out Authentic Relating Ottawa.
That sounds like a very interesting idea. And for those who aren't in the Ottawa area, if you are going to Google for conversation starters, Pinterest mentions that there are hundreds of sites that offer suggested questions or topics that'll spark big talk. And I just looked quickly with Google, and some of the ones that I found on websites offered like, what's one thing you can't live without? Who are your role models? Both of those would tell you something about the individual. Which is your favorite movie and why? That's always lively because most everybody has seen a movie and loved it.
Mhm.
And then the one that caught my eye that's actually in the article is, which TV show character would you want to be?
Hmm.
And I found trouble with that is you mix that with maybe your favorite character, but you wouldn't necessarily want to be them.
Right.
So one idea that jumps to my mind was Harvey from Suits, a very clever lawyer on the show, but I don't think I'd want to be him.
Right.
So I'm going to put you on the spot and have you
Okay.
tell me who you would pick. And I'll start though, since I'm asking you. And I got it down, not surprisingly, to 3. And if I was forced to pick one, my choice would be Dr. Hawkeye Pierce from MASH.
Yeah.
I truly enjoyed his character, and he, if you scratch deep enough, you find out he's a nice guy, but otherwise he's a smartass. So I have no idea why he was felt akin to me, but there
Yeah.
you go. There you go. It's crazy. The total opposite of me.
Total opposite. TV show character. Okay. I'm gonna go, since we're in a nostalgic mood here. I'm gonna go with Samantha from Bewitched. Do you remember that show? Yeah.
Yeah.
So not that I necessarily am excited about being a 60s housewife, but I would love to have the witch powers. Like that would be so much fun. Did you know that they remade that? Well, sorry, they didn't remake it. There was a movie with Nicole Kidman and Will Ferrell. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. And it was called Bewitched. And essentially it was about rebooting the show in the movie. And Will Ferrell insists on this woman who is not an actress being cast. And it turns out, of course, it's Kidman, and she's a witch. So yeah. Anyway, it didn't do very well, but it's kind of a fun movie if you want to check it out. Along that same theme, maybe a little more current, would be the series Charmed. I don't know if you ever saw that.
I know of it.
Okay. So, and again, it's now old enough actually that there's been a reboot, I noticed. But anyway, there's 3 sisters, the Halliwell sisters, and they discover that they're descendants from a long line of powerful witches. And I would like to be the oldest sister in that, because I am the oldest of 3 sisters. Again, feel some kinship. So yeah, there's a little bit of a theme going on here. I would really essentially like to be a witch. And I think witches get a bad rap, like in fairy tales. There's lots of popular fantasy and young adult shows now that are busting up those stereotypes, but I think witches get a bad rap. So speaking of stereotypes, another trend from the Star article is around language and the trend of replacing anti-aging with the term pro-aging, right? So we're starting to see that mostly in the health and beauty industry, in their marketing, but also on their labeling. And we've heard from several guests on previous seasons of our podcast about how important our word choices are.
Yep.
And the author of this article rightly points out that words matter, right? Words help shape our culture, and that includes our attitudes and our beliefs about groups of people within our culture, such as older adults. So I like this one.
Yeah, I think it's heading in the right direction, and it sort of reminds me, it's a little reminiscent of a very positive campaign. And this is in no way a for-profit shout out by us. But the Dove campaign.
Yeah.
That was also, I thought it was very inclusive. The final trend we're going to talk about from this Toronto Star article is that of niche wellness travel. And for example, if you had any health ailment like insomnia or an aspect of your health that you wanted to improve, maybe to improve your flexibility, if reduce menopause symptoms, for example, any one of those things, chances are very good that there are multiple retreat options for you out there, often in your own community or maybe a community over to or so that you could drive to. And definitely there's one somewhere that you could reach by going further afield by planes, trains, or automobiles. In addition to catching rays in the Caribbean, Mary Ellen, you discovered retreat options available in the Dominican Republic.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. The DR is a pretty ideal place to host a retreat. They've got the weather, a variety of accommodations to suit most people's price points. And there are so many, I've discovered there's so many health and wellness providers from all over the globe who've chosen to make the Dominican Republic their new home, which is pretty cool. So one such person is Raquelita Amar, or Rachel, and we were blessed to have her talk with us about why she and her family moved to the DR, what she does here, and the retreat that she's planning for the fall. All right, good morning.
Good morning.
It's so lovely to have you with us, Rachel. Thank you for joining us this morning on the Retirement Years podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
So tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, how you came to be in the DR and what you do here.
Yeah, so my name is Rachel Amar, originally from Montreal, Quebec. We left the cold. Well, we decided to leave the cold because, well, first of all, the North American lifestyle has become very go, 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 rat race. And my husband and I, after the pandemic, said, let's change it up a little bit. Let's change completely lifestyles. And that's what brought us to the DR. We were following some people that were originally from Montreal that were posting on Facebook groups and telling us how the life is here. And it just drew us in. We came to check it out for 10 days. When we went back to Montreal, like, that's it. We're selling everything and we're leaving. At the time, we had a 4-year-old son. And I'm like, this is the perfect time to do a move like this. So the DR has been nothing short of amazing. I'm not going to say there's no roller coasters involved. It's totally normal to be feeling like, did we do the right thing? Should we have sold everything? Like, the doubt comes in. But after the year that you're here, that we lived, we're like, it's not that bad. I mean, we've adapted, right? And we came to adapt. We didn't come here to live the life like we did in Montreal. And it feels absolutely amazing to be here because it humbles you down a lot. You're way less materialistic. That no longer, well, I mean, you could still order stuff, but you think twice before ordering on Amazon.
Yes.
And I love teaching our son that it's not about the material. It's about the experiences. Christmas is no longer around, oh, how many gifts did I get? Gets one gift and that's that. I love that about the DR. It just brings you down like 10 notches, down back to earth.
Now,
Yeah.
Rachel, I would have to say that there are probably some people in Montreal that are going to turn on you now because that's a hockey city. That's the hockey capital of the world. And they'll probably have your picture up at the Bell Center tonight and they'll boo.
Yes, that's what I want.
But on a personal note, I don't blame you. And as we were talking before we started recording, it's been cold here in Southern Ontario. Nothing like our friends in the northern part of our province and yours as well. Quebec has some lovely winters, but they're long. You mentioned a couple of health benefits, and obviously the different pace of life, and that's obvious to tourists who think things are going to run on time, and we have to realize that it's a different type of time, and that 9 o'clock could mean almost anything. So I mean, lowering that stress level and some of the things you've mentioned, is there anything else in the Dominican Republic that you would say, because you've been there a bit now to get used to it, that also would offer health and wellness benefits over the lifestyle that sometimes we lead here out of necessity in North America?
Absolutely. Well, getting an enormous amount of vitamin D and the vitamin C. When I say C is the ocean, the salt water.
That's good.
The getting your feet in the sand and grounding. I've taught our son about grounding, which he would have never really been familiar with if he would have been in Montreal still. But the vitamin D, the vitamin C, we try to get to the beach every weekend or every like 2-3 days. Because sometimes you do take it for granted when you live here, you get caught up in your day-to-day. But that's a huge thing, a huge benefit with our health. And in Canada, now in the winters, long winters, you're seeing lots of gray skies, not that much sun. It affects your mood. It used to affect me a lot. I used to suffer, I think, from seasonal depression. So here, that's way gone.
Yeah.
That's gone. So that's a huge benefit. We get some fresh fruits and vegetables from the local farmers. Just so many things, and an access to an array of activities here that are always outdoors. So we're pretty much always outside doing yoga classes, surfing classes. The restaurants are half indoor, half outdoor. There's playgrounds for kids. The kids are running loose like wild chickens free range chickens. And that's what I love. So those are all the amazing benefits from being here, I personally think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Rachel, you contribute to the amazing health and wellness benefits here in the Dominican Republic. Tell our listeners some of the things that you do.
So when we first moved here, my husband and I took a sabbatical. We're like, we're just gonna take a break. And so I started doing yoga at Natura Cabana, a beautiful retreat place in Cabarete. And not just retreat, but it's a hotel. And I did a class there and I was like, oh, I could so teach laughter yoga. And I had just gotten certified not that long ago and I wasn't really doing anything with it. So I met with the management there and they're like, sure, we don't have laughter yoga. We don't even know what that is. So yeah, you could teach her once a week. So I started doing my laughter yoga, got people familiar with the new concept, and it's absolutely liberating to teach it, but also amazing to see the students also benefit from the laughter yoga. And then with that, I started dance classes as well. So I teach dance classes for adults, for women specifically. We do lady styling on salsa, bachata, merengue, and we learn a choreography every week. And I also teach step and dance fitness to kids. So I'm starting to teach more kids classes because there's a demand for it. Different activities for kids that are a little bit different than the typical, maybe, I don't know, like soccer and stuff like that. So I'm starting a hip hop class for kids actually this week. And it's just been really, really fun to just kind of pivot because you come here. I didn't have any like job lined up really, and I'm just pivoting constantly, but pivoting in a great way. And it's helping my health as well. I'm staying fit while I'm teaching others. So,
Yeah.
what better way?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this episode, as I shared with you before we started the interview, is focusing on health and wellness trends in 2024. And one of those trends is wellness retreats and niche wellness retreats. And so I immediately thought of you because since I've been here in the Dominican Republic, I've met you and I know that you're planning a retreat for this fall. So tell us more about that.
I meet you when you tell me about, oh, I do a podcast and we're the niche wellness retreat. I'm like, excuse me? Talk about the universe, how the stars are aligning.
Exactly.
So yes, so to let you guys know, I'm planning a retreat from November 1st to the 5th, 2024 of this year. It's going to be taking place in the breathtaking Villa Cocomar in Cabarete. It's absolutely beautiful, a one-stop shop retreat where we want the women, the besties, to book a trip and come to our retreat because we want to promote it as that. Come with your bestie and come have a few days of unforgettable moments. We're going to be doing some laughter yoga, some sound healing, some dance classes, vision board workshops, excursions, all kinds of stuff. And it's just beautiful. I'm excited about it because we called it the Happy Retreat. We want women to come and find the true joy within because many women go through a lot in their lives. I'm not saying men don't go through a lot, but women especially go through different types of things, whether it's it could be menopause, it could be depression, it could be anything, right? So coming to this retreat and finding happiness within, releasing what no longer serves them, and really having an experience of a lifetime. We have many more things, but I don't want to give it all away. And if you want to know more about it, we have our Instagram account that's up. It's called The Happy Retreat. So exactly how it's spelled. And there's going to be links to a brochure, a site where you can go find more information on the retreat. And I'm really, really excited because it's my first one that I'm planning with the two girls from Montreal and a planner that's also Canadian, that's been living here for 7 years, that has an enormous amount of knowledge. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell.
That's so amazing. I think this is a perfect place really for a retreat, and I've discovered that there's retreats for anything down here.
Anything and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Myself included, I'm shocked just looking and doing some research. There's retreats for literally every category.
Yeah, and they fill. Like, I mean, it's no trouble filling the retreats because people are happy to come here. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, happy to come here, and we want to kind of show them around too. You know, we want to have them, yes, be at Villa Cocomar, but also explore. And we're kind of not far from downtown Cabarete, so we could just walk the beach so that's why we chose that. That's that beautiful spot. It's ocean front, so If people want the ocean, they just walk out of the room and they're right there. So it's just, yeah, I'm very excited. I discovered this spot not too long ago, so now I'm all about Villa Cocomar. Have you heard about it? And the retreat also I forgot to mention is ranging from women from 25 to 60 over. We don't want to put it too much like restrictive because we want to have as many besties come together, and we're looking to fill about 26 spots.
Nice. That's awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll be sure to put the happy retreat up on our Instagram feed as well, and our Facebook and X and everywhere we are. So we'll do that. I think
you.
it sounds amazing. And you are such an inspiration to me. You're always smiling, Rachel, and I love that.
Well, I teach laughter yoga, so I better be smiling and laughing most of the time.
True. Very true.
But thank you for the nice compliment, and thank you both for having me as a guest. I'm truly grateful. Thank you very much.
Thank you for taking time out of all your planning and all the other things that you do to spend some time with us. Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
You know, Mary Ellen, what an outgoing, positive individual.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting to hear how life in the Dominican has allowed Rachel and her family to, just slow down and focus on those non-materialistic things. That was very important to her, you could tell.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would agree. That's certainly been my experience, that the pace of life is a little bit slower. Mañana, things can happen tomorrow. It doesn't need to happen today.
Yeah.
And I can absolutely see myself living here part of the year moving forward. As you said, she's so positive. Like, can you not see that she's going to is an amazing laughter yoga instructor? I'd never even heard of laughter yoga until I met Rachel. And it's everywhere, apparently. I just have been living under a mushroom, I guess. But she is the perfect person to be an instructor. She's never without a smile on her face, and she just exudes positivity and warmth and genuine. Like, she's just such a lovely, lovely, authentic person. Yeah,
that came through completely in her chat with us. Yeah. So in our research, in addition, like the Toronto Star article kind of started the whole thing, and then we found an article that was on the CBS News website. Mm-hmm. And it was about trends that are going to come up, but it was according to experts, unlike the last one where it was according to people's research topics through various social media platforms. And one of the predicted advances, if you call it that, is in smart tech and artificial intelligence. And both are amazing and a bit scary at times. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I mean, so many of us, I'm wearing one right now, a smartwatch, and we use it to track our exercise. I'm obsessed with that, my steps, to track how well your sleep, how long you're sleeping, sleep quality, and other health metrics. That's been going on for years now. And experts predict 2024 will bring a new level of wearable tech. And now these two are on the horizon. The first one's wearable biosensors. And this one's again, it's exciting and frightening a bit, but if it works as intended, biosensors use elements like antibodies or enzymes to detect biochemical quantities. Not on the market yet, but in design, these sensors would do things such as diagnose disease quickly and suggest timely prevention and treatment for diseases. And you'd be wearing this tech in some way. And the other one was wearable blood pressure monitor. And that would help so many people unaware that are walking around with high blood pressure that they would know instantly. They'd also get a good read on what's causing maybe their spikes in blood pressure and could avoid those situations. Couple quotes from the article: wearable devices and smartwatches will continue to move beyond monitoring and add more screening features to warn us of health issues before they become bigger problems. The functionality of these devices will continue to transition from passive to proactive. Right. That's good because anything caught early. And the other one, artificial intelligence, which is already being incorporated into some health settings, is also slated to become a bigger player. And another quote from the article: your second opinion may come from a computer instead of a physician, as our ability to analyze vast data sets and harness AI advances. So Dr. AI is ready to see you now, Mary Ellen, and give you a second opinion.
Huh, interesting. Let's wrap up by talking about the prediction from the CBS News article that wellness travel will continue to be a trend, that there's going to be a continued desire to live well longer, which means related trends such as eating more plant-based meals than last year, considering your gut health, looking at your sleep health, doing strength exercises, incorporating rest and recovery. Those are all going to be prominent trends in 2024 under that umbrella of the desire to live well longer.
Yeah.
The final trend I'm going to highlight today from that CBS News article is that we're going to have an increased focus on social connections. So this kind of connects back to the deep talk that you were talking about earlier.
Yes.
So what that looks like is a return to in-person everything, right? Everything from therapy to group sports. And that's really coming after more than a few years of pandemic-induced isolation, right? That took a toll on our collective mental health. And so rightly so, mental health has been sort of at the forefront of trends for the last couple of years. And now we're moving not from that because it's connected, but we're moving to social connection as a way of improving not just our mental health, but also physical health, right? We talked in season 2, also earlier this season with Jean, but we talked in season 2 with a couple of different guests who spoke about the importance of social connection for all aspects of our health as we age, right?
Yep.
I don't know if you remember, but in episode 5, we highlighted how valuable your local community center is for offering a wide variety of social activities. And then also in season 2, episode 7, we dedicated a full episode to pickleball. And the CBS article talks about pickleball and says the reason it's so attractive is because it connects full body exercise or functional movement and fun. And it also satisfies our desire to connect with others in a community setting. So listeners, if you missed either of those episodes, don't worry. They're archived on our website, retirementyearspodcast.com. And you can head there to listen to all previous season's episodes. And you know what else you can find on our website? Merch. We've got lots of amazing trip items for you to choose from. There's mugs, there's tumblers, tea towels, totes, t-shirts, golf shirts, coasters. Anything for you, anything for someone you know who may be retiring. They make great gifts.
And also, Mary Ellen, I would like to, on behalf of both of us, thank everyone who listens to our podcast because, you listening and sending feedback is part of the social connection we've been talking about. We've been talking about it since season 1 about making those connections. And we love connecting with you when you listen. So don't be shy. Reach out and give us suggestions or say hi or whatever it is that's on your mind. You'll find us on Facebook, Instagram, on X, and through our website as well. And you can email us at theretirementyearspodcast@gmail.com. And once again, can't say enough. Mary Ellen and I love hearing from you. It really makes our day.
It does.
And before I say goodbye to you today, Mary Ellen, I hope you're taking Rachel's advice and that you find some time to get out between showers or if the showers are done to get your vitamin C.
Lots of vitamin C happening. Yes. Sea and sand. Yes.
Yeah, I think that would be great. And I'll make sure to jump in Lake Ontario here. That's right at the freezing mark. So it'll be almost the same.
Almost the same.
Yeah, I'm trying not to be petty. Until next time. I'm Dave.
And I'm Mary Ellen. Stay well.
You've been listening to the Retirement Years Podcast, social media marketing and management provided by Madison Sloan at MSS Mad Media. Original music by Theodora Draper. Web design by Gavin Hinton.